Hello everyone, my name is Sagar Paranjape and welcome back to my YouTube channel where I talk about different parts of Photoshop and simplify them. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Adobe Camera Raw feature that comes with Adobe Photoshop. Since this feature has a lot of tools and options that you can use, I'll be explaining this feature in about 2 to 3 videos. This video is going to have these tools that you see right here. I'll be explaining them in the next few videos. Next 1 or 2 videos, I'll be talking about these features right here. So before getting into those tools and features, I'll be talking a little bit about what RAW stands for. So you must have heard about different types of image formats like JPEG, TIFF, PNG, etc. And the RAW format is nothing different. It's a type of image format that is accepted by all photographers in any genre of photography. The reason for this is that RAW images will store a lot more information, a lot more data than other images that we have at our disposal. For example, a JPEG image will be around 3 MB, but a RAW image will be around 20 plus MB. So you can see the difference of data storage right away. All this data needs to be processed before it goes into the main Photoshop window, and that's where our Adobe Camera Raw feature comes in. Before I start talking about these tools and features, I just want to put up a link on top which is of my last video that I did. It is on the shortcuts which are useful in Photoshop and everyone should know them. So if you haven't watched that video yet, go and watch it. So now let's get right into our tools that we see right here on top. The first tool is the zoom tool, which is shown by the magnification glass. It's quite a simple tool. When you choose it and left click on the image, it is going to zoom into the image. If you alt and left click on the image, it is going to zoom out of the image. The next tool that we see right here is the hand tool, and it works really well with the zoom tool. So let's say I want to zoom into the teeth, but then I want to go to the head more towards the eyes of the tiger. So I can choose the hand tool, then left click and drag, and then I can move along the image. So the next tool that we have here is our white balance tool, which is shown by the dropper symbol. With this tool you can click anywhere and Photoshop will set the white balance of the entire image accordingly, sampling from that one point. So my advice would be, if you want a correct white balance for the image just by this tool, you're going to try and find the whitest part that you have on your image. So here we can see that the neck of this tiger has a really white highlight. So I'm going to click on it and then it sets the warmth accordingly. So the next tool that we have right here is the color sampler tool, which is also used for white balance correction. So it is right beside the white balance tool. It's a dropper symbol with a asterisk like symbol on the top left of it. So you can select this, and when it gives you an eyedropper like icon. So again, similar to the white balance tool, you're going to want to click on the whitest part that you have on your image. So I'm going to go to the neck of this tiger again and click on it. When I click on it, it puts a pointer where I clicked and gives me the RGB values for that point, which stands for red, green and blue values of that point. So what you see here is the R value is 225, G is 228 and B is 232. So what you want to do here is you want these three values to be as close to each other as they can be. So it should be either equal or 1 or 2 units apart for a correct color correction. So here, now that you have these values will change along with the adjustments that you make on the right side here. So just for the sake of this correction, I'll show you by sliding on the temperature on the temperature scale that we have right here. So right now it was at 4700, which is the original white balance. If I shift it to the right and make it 4900, it is the RGB value come up to 229, R229, G229 and B228. So that is the like the closest it is going to be, and it is a really good result just by a simple tweak. So this is a way to correct your white balance apart from the white balance tool that we have right here. So the next tool that we have in our arsenal is the targeted adjustment tool, which is a really versatile and easy to use tool. With this one tool you can do 4 adjustments, which is the parametric curve, the hue, saturation and luminance. So the principle of this tool is quite easy. Since it's targeted, you click on one point of the image and you click and drag up or down to increase the HSL or parametric curve of this of that part of the image and the similar parts in that image. So if I click, right now I'm on parametric curve. The parametric curve stands more for the exposure part of the image, which is the lights, darks, shadows, highlights, etc. So if I click here and increase, the lights of the image increase overall, and you see the red parts right here, which shows that the image has been overexposed and it has been burnt. So we are going to press Ctrl plus Z to cancel that out. If I click here in the darks and shadows area and I drag up, it's going to reduce the shadows, which makes it lighter and fades the tiger away. Again, we're going to cancel that out. Next is the hue part. So if I click, let's say on the green part right here, I click and drag up, it is going to increase the hue of the greens and a little bit of yellow that was in that part of the image, and it's going to increase the hue of the green parts that you see all around the image. So this part had the greens, every green has been increased. So if I press Ctrl Z and do this for the tiger as well, we see that the yellows and oranges are changed, the hue for them is changed. Next is saturation. Again, you can click on any part and that color of that saturation of that targeted color will increase. As you see right here, if I reduce it by dragging down, it is going to look bland. The last part is luminance, which stands for the light intensity of the color. So if I drag it up, it's going to become lighter. If I drag it down, it's going to become darker, but just that color that I have clicked on. So I had clicked on the green, so the green gets darkened. That's all about this one tool. It is really versatile, really fun. Go around, experiment with it, and you can make really cool visuals with it. The next tool that we have here is the crop tool, which, as you all know, we use to crop the image according to any size that you want. If you choose the crop tool and click on the image, right click on the image, you will find these different measurements according to which the image will be cropped. If it's on normal, you can just drag and make the shape that you'd like and it will crop accordingly. But let's say you want a 9:16 image. So if you click and drag, the image will be in only 9:16 ratio, and it will not change that ratio. So if you want it for, let's say, a YouTube video, a YouTube thumbnail, so that's the standard kind of measurement for a thumbnail. So that is how you use the crop tool. You can even, if you put it on a crop, if you take your mouse outside of the crop, you'll find this bent arrow like symbol. So if you click and drag up or down, it will rotate your crop accordingly. After making the crop, if you decide to not go through with it, you can again right click and select clear crop to cancel out the crop that you had already laid down. So the next two tools after the crop tool are quite similar to each other, and they are related to each other as they are for the alignment of your image. So the first tool that we are going to see here is the straighten tool. So for example, if you click a photo and the horizon is tilted, this tool will help you correct that. If the photo is visibly tilted, like this one isn't, but if your photo is obviously slanting, you can just double click on the straighten tool and it will straighten that image through its own judgment. But if you want to do it manually, like according to your judgment, you can just click on the straighten tool, and then let's say I want this heap of seeds to be the horizon, the level. So I'm going to click here at the top of the heap and drag the line or the tool towards the feet of this parakeet. Now Photoshop will use that line to basically use that line as a guide of the horizon and tilt the frame accordingly so that it fits your horizon. Now our next tool is going to be the transform tool, and it is a really helpful tool if you want to align, let's say, buildings or anything in your photo. So let's do this again. The first line that you draw is going to be horizontal, which sets the horizon of the image. So let's say I want to, let's say, click and drag, I want this heap of seeds as my horizon again, and I'm going to draw a line 90 degrees to this horizon that I just drew. So let's take the eye of this mina right here to be the other point of my reference. See, the image has been transformed a little bit according to the guides that I gave Photoshop. Here there are multiple tabs where you can go ahead and change the perspective of your image, whether it's the top is towards you, whether it's leaning left or right, or rotation of the image. You can even change the aspect ratio of the image, scaling it. You can do whatever you want with the image with the transform tool right here. So this is going to be a really cool way to change your images if you really work with something that needs to be in a perfect perspective. So now we're back to our tiger image for our next tool, which is going to be the spot removal tool. So this tool is quite self-explanatory. It's for removing distractions, any blemishes, any spots that might be in your image. So right now I see a spot right here in my image which is distracting because it's not the same color as the background. So I'm going to select the spot removal brush or tool, and then I'm going to left click and just hover over it a little. Now this creates a section which is selected, and the green part is the patch that is copied and pasted basically to clear that spot that we didn't want on there. You can switch both the green patch and red patch if you want to, but yeah, that's how it basically works. If you press enter, the image is going to be patched. The pointer will leave when you go ahead and open the image in Photoshop. Now our next tool is the red eye removal tool. So whenever you do flash photography with people or sometimes even other animals, you're going to end up getting a reflection of the retina, and it's going to end up in this red eye effect. So it's a simple thing to get rid of. You can just go ahead and click on the red eye removal icon, then go and make a square or rectangle around the eye. Photoshop will detect the red eye effect and will remove it. You have two sliders here which have the pupil size on it and the darkness which you want on inside the eye. So if you want a lighter shade, you can do that. If you want a darker shade, you can do that according to your own convenience. So now we'll do the next eye. We'll do the same thing. You drag it around the eye. Photoshop detects the red eye and you will get rid of that red eye effect. Now we are back to the tiger image, and I'll be talking a little bit about the remaining last four tools. The brush tool, the graduated filter tool, and the radial filter tool are going to be a part of another video that I'm going to be doing only for the three of them, since it is there is a little bit more explanation to it than the other tools. So let's talk about the last four tools that we have here. The tab, like the bullet and line symbol, shows you the preference dialog of Camera Raw, which is basically file handling, general performance, raw defaults, and everything that how the Camera Raw feature processes the images. So that is the preference dialog that we have here. I have left it as is. I don't really think there is any need to change any settings. If you want to, you can just go ahead and change those settings. The next three are quite simple. The one after the preferences is the rotate image counterclockwise, 90 degrees counterclockwise. If you click it, it's going to rotate counterclockwise. If you click the next tool, which is a clockwise rotation, it is going to rotate back to its original position. The last tool is toggle mark for delete. So if you're a person who manages a lot of images in Camera Raw, right now you can see only one image on the left. You can import multiple images into Camera Raw, and when you are processing multiple images, you want to get rid of some of the clutter. So you can just click on a certain image and click on the toggle mark for delete, which is the last option that we have, looks like a dustbin. And then it will mark that image to be thrown into the trash. It won't go through towards into the Photoshop window. That is it for this video, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you have any comments, anything to say about the video, you can go down and comment in the comment section, or you can connect with me on Instagram and Twitter. Both the links have been given in the description. The next video is going to be a continuation of this video itself, where I talk about the remaining tools in depth. See you guys in the next video. Have a great day.